Hello everyone, it's been a while and I must say I've missed you guys. For those of you who don't know, I'm Ike and this is Ike Source. We've been working on this tutorial series which basically entails building a staff profile management system. Today we are going to basically do a lot of fixing. We're going to fix a lot of stuff. In the last 2 days I've noticed a lot of things on the system and I think we can make it better. Well, our starting point is going to be this. Can you imagine how our login page is scaling downward? That's serious. So let's try to fix that. I'm going to inspect elements. Let's see what is making our login page push down. Okay. Here we go. Our container div. Okay, you remember how we styled this container div twice? First of all in the main.css and then secondly in the login.css where we added this extra margin. I think there's no need for that. So I'm going to go over to my file explorer and locate my root folder right here in WAMP www and then spss. Good. So the file we are looking out for is our login.css. So all I'm going to do is take out all of the styling, everything that has to do with the container class, take it out and save, and then our problem is solved. Once I refresh, it stays up. That's nice. Alright, one down. Next I'm gonna log in. Okay, once I've logged in, I'm going to navigate to the add member page. Add. Is that it? Good. Alright, I want to change some stylings that is going to affect our input elements and the way they are displayed. Instead of using placeholders, I'm choosing to use labels, but this time we are going to make it graphically interesting. So I'm going to change a lot of, or I'm going to update on the CSS styling rules for this. Alright, also I think before I go into that, I would want to take out this field here. I took a moment to think about it and I came to the conclusion that there's no need for us putting this field here because based on how I've seen the system, every other member or every staff member of an organization is going to have one specific or one very same access level. So if a member is having access level 3, it means every member, irrespective of the organization or whatever, is going to have an access level of 3. So why do we have to put this additional element here if every member goes with an access level of 3? In that case, we can just hard code it in the query and then send it into the database. So what I'm going to do is to open this file, appmember.php. I'm going to open up my text editor, then I'll open it up from here. And in this file, first thing is that I'm gonna take out all of this out. Okay, I'm also gonna take this out. hard to take this out. Wherever access comes up, I'm gonna take out, and in our query right here where we have the access variable, I'm going to just key in 4 as our access level for every logged in or every added user. Okay, we're gonna save this and we're done with this. Alright, the next thing I would want us to fix is our button. The button looks quite nice, really nice, but I think we can do better. We can do better with this button. We can actually make it look better, look more presentable. So I'm going to add up some rules which will help us achieve exactly that. Coming over to my text editor, I'm gonna open up our main.css file in the CSS folder. Good. Then for our button class, I've gone ahead to bring up these styling rules. So let me take a minute and explain everything that is happening here to you guys. Now, just like before, the button is still a displayed block element, a margin of 15 pixels top and bottom, also from the left and the right. Now a border of 1 pixel solid, and this I think it's a blue color, yeah, and this blue color around it, and then the color, that's the text color, of same color as the border. Now we are making the background transparent. Our button is not gonna have a fill, it's gonna be transparent, so all you'd have is just a border around it and then a text with the same color as the border, a font size of 22 pixel, a font weight of lighter, padding 10 pixel top and bottom, 20 pixel left and right, a letter spacing of 3 pixel, and then I'm adding transition to our button. Now also I've created a hover state for the button class. Once the button is hovered over, we are giving it a background color of this, which is the same exact color which we gave the border up here. It's a blue color. So once hovered, it now gains background color of blue, and then the color transforms from white, from this blue right here to white. That's the text color. We make our cursor pointer, a border of 1 pixel solid, and a lighter shade of blue. Alright, I'm going to save, head over to the browser. Let's see how our button looks, and this is what I'm talking about. Nice, really nice, really nice. Make it more elegant, it's more sleek. Alright, moving on. If I should inspect our elements, you would notice that outside the elements, the container, which is spanning 100% of the browser, every other thing, if I can find my container right here, outside this container there is no other wrapper that gives a definite dimension to our page, and it's really not cool because there are some things that we would want to do and then would need to have a basic dimension to the page, not everything spanning across the whole page. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'll create a class in main.css, and I'm gonna call this class, alright, right here. Now in this class, all we are doing is giving a width of 80% of the container. So we are giving a width of 80% to whatever element we add this class to. So if we add it to a class whose parent, to an element whose parent is the 100% container, then we'll be having 80% of the 100% container, if that makes sense. And then we're giving it a margin of 0 pixels and auto in order to center it to the page. So I'm gonna copy this class name, head over to our addMember.php, and then right here where we have our addMember div, I'm gonna add a class and assign this with save. So now we have a wrapper. We have a definite dimension to our addMember wrapper. Now we just made the wrapper for our addMember div. The class we added to the addMember div gave it a width of 80% of the total of its containing element, of its mother element. Now if we have 80% and then we went ahead to center, it means that from both sides we'll be having 10% and 10%. Now since we are having 10% away from the edge of the window or the browser, we can do same to our this login to this text right here, so that it's going to line up with the end, the edge of the div of the inner wrapper, so to say, and every other element which is going to move over to the edge is going to line up properly. So what we're going to do is right here we're going to change this right to 10% so as to have things aligned properly. The next thing I would want us to do is to I'd want to, like I explained earlier, I'd want to take off this placeholder and then add labels, but the way I would want to design this is to have this label sitting inside of on the inside of this input field, sitting inside of the input fields like this, almost close to what we have with the label, but we're going to make it a little bit more graphical. So let's do that. Coming over to my browser, I'd first of all come here to the addMember.php page, and in my form I'm gonna add label. Then for every label I'm gonna wrap it in a div alongside its input field. So close this. The reason why I'm doing this is so as to have a wrapper wrap around both of these guys, which is going to give me the power of making the wrapper relative and the same size or the same width, the same dimension as the input field. Then if they have the same dimension, I can now make this one, the label, absolute to the wrapper, thereby having the power or making it possible to bring the label on top of the input field and then position it just the way I'd love. I'm sure you don't understand, but don't worry. Once you're done with this, or once we start the styling, you're going to understand better. So let me just quickly wrap this up for all of these input fields. I went ahead to quickly effect the change for each and every one of these input field. So I also changed some of the naming convention so as to help us not get things confused or get things twisted later in the project as it grows. I made the names more specific For example, since this is a staff last name, I added a staff in front of the last name, not just the last name. All that changed is just basically the names right here, which are the names of our elements from the markup. So I'm gonna save this, and then we are gonna head straight into the CSS part of things, make them look pretty. So for the input, basically all I'm going to do is add transition, just like we have on our button. I'm going to add transition to the input element. The reason why I'm adding this transition is in order to light up the button whenever the user clicks or focuses into the button. So we want to add a little bit of box shadow to the button, to the input field, to the text field. Just like I mentioned, we just added transition. Once the user focuses into the input field, the text field, we add box shadow to it. We shade. Alright. Then our input wrapper, which is the wrapper which goes around all of these elements, the one we've been doing since, this right here, the div going around all of our input elements and the labels. We are just saying that we are just giving it a position of relative, displaying it block, a width of 500 pixels, which is same as our inputs right here, a height of 40, which is also the same as what we have right here, thereby giving it the same dimensions as our text fields. Giving it a margin of 10 pixels and auto, okay, padding of 2 pixels from the top and the bottom, and then 6 pixels from the left and the right. And we are giving it box sizing, border box, so that all of these things don't affect the size, it still maintain the same size. Alright, for our labels, we are now saying that the position should be absolute, 8 pixels from the left and 4 pixels from the top, a width of 150 pixels, a height of 36 pixels, adding left of 4 pixels, a background color of this shade of gray, and then the text color of a darker shade of gray, 9E9E9E, font size of 14 pixels. This is everything we've done. So I'm gonna save, and then I'll head over to the browser, refresh. Let's see the effect this adds. Really nice, really nice, really nice. So our form is actually looking more presentable now. Good. When I refresh, it's a little bit fast, but instead of just appearing, the elements, they animate in. The button gives you a clearer view, animates in. The same thing for the input fields. It's as a result of the transition which we added. It also affects when it lights up like this. So this is nice. This is nice. I'm going to log out so that we effect the same changes on our login. If you look closely, our login is pretty messed up, so we'll need to effect the same styling and markup rules to the login page at the same time. Alright, let's just get to it. So I'm going to head over to the text editor, open our signin.php. So I'm going to briefly just add the div which is going to wrap through all of these input elements, and then we are going to have the effect which we so desire in our input, in our signin.php. Alright, here we go. Wrapping this div around these guys, I think basically solves our problem. Head over to the browser, refresh, and see what we got. It's like a miracle. Everything sliding in. It's really lovely. Nice. Nice. I think we're done with this. No, not really. This guy is kidding out here, so would have to increase the size of this wrapping element or wrapping div. So I'll go into login.css. Is that here? I'll locate login.css here, and I'll change the width of this to 500 and let's say 50 pixels. Save. Come back here and refresh. Alright, cool. I think I'm done. I'm cool with it. I like it. But finally, I would want to over here in our addMember.php, I would want to edit or change the way that we've granted access. Now, instead of having everything including access on one line, we'll just check if user and access have been set, and we now come down and check if access is equal to 1 or equal to 3. Note that we now have a number of users who we think should gain access to this system, unlike what we have before. If I can back up a little bit, down, we're saying that if this is set and this is set and access is equal to 1, just 1, but we are now granting access to more than one user, more than one access level for 1 and 3. So that's basically what we've done here. I'm gonna save, and I think with this we're done with our easy fixes. I would want to thank you guys for hanging in there. Every source code for this project, every update made has been effected on GitHub, so you can visit my GitHub page and download the source code, tweak it as you will. If there are corrections which you feel should be made, you go ahead and make all necessary corrections and send in your pull request. I'm gonna go through every pull request that is sent, and together we are going to understand what you've done and then integrate it into the system. Alright, a link to GitHub will be, I'm going to add a link to GitHub under this video, so in the description area you just check there and get a link to the GitHub page. I want to once again thank you for being here, and I'd love to see you in our next video.